Listen to me, you punk slaves! You think this shit's easy? I dare you to get in the ring with me!
Ultimate Industries presents Ultimate Pro Wrestling Training. Welcome to Volume 2, The Next Step. On this tape, you will learn about basic hold-to-hold wrestling, advanced chain wrestling, and striking methods, including punches, kicks, elbows, and forearms. Plus, you will meet some of the UPW superstars as they tell you about their journey in pro wrestling. Total body conditioning is a vital element to your training. To make it to the big leagues, it takes a combination of wrestling skills and an impressive physical appearance. Determination, intensity, and perseverance are crucial elements of today's business of sports entertainment. So, after viewing tape 1, do you think you have what it takes to become a pro wrestler? Here's the Dean of Ultimate University, the Big Swag, Brett Wagner, on what the school looks for in a student.
Well, I would like to say we look for 7-foot-tall, big steroid monsters, but we don't. We look for anybody that's got a good attitude. Attitude is the key. It doesn't matter what size they are, as long as they have a very good attitude and they're positive, and you can tell if someone's going to rock the boat right away. And at Ultimate University, we're a family. It's the family atmosphere. You know, we don't need any people rocking the boat, so we're very selective, and we've done very well so far. Well, the reality of the percentage of people that go on to the WWF is very small, but I believe there's only 350 spots available in the big three. That would be WWF, WCW, or ECW. And then there's Japan, and then there's Europe. So, I mean, there are places you can go work, but the percentage that goes on is very small, and it takes a lot of hard work and effort to get there. And at our Ultimate University, we happen to be a school that we get guys looked at, which with some people on the independent circuit would take a long time. You know, it could be 5 or 6 years before anybody ever hears about them. We just we have a niche to getting people looked at quickly in their careers, which helps. Right now, you have a problem with backyard wrestling, which you have a lot of people that go out and they mimic what they watch on TV. They don't get trained. Our tapes, they show you what, you know, with great teachers, with teachers who are professionals with 5 or 6 years experience in the business, and they show you the right way to do stuff. Whether or not you should go do that at home after watching the tape, I don't know. But if this gets you excited and you want to go sign up for a wrestling school, I suggest it. You know, you should never go train in a backyard. Absolutely never. You should look for teachers that have 5 or 6 years experience at least, and an accredited school, I would say. And there are them. They're out there, but there's also a lot of people, shysters as we call them, that, you know, take your money, and they, after 2 months, you're out wrestling, and you can get hurt really bad.
Now, let's go over to our Huntington Beach, California campus, and your instructor, Tom Howard.
Now, in hold-to-hold wrestling, basically you're going to start from the tie-up position, which is the collar and elbow tie-up we discussed in tape number 1. The tie-up position, to refresh, is collar and elbow. This is the beginning of basically all of the hold-to-hold movements that you'll be doing. The first one we're going to show you is called a pass behind, and myself being the aggressor, I'm going to basically push, I'm going to reach the hand, the elbow hand, I'm going to push the elbow, and I'm going to duck under it, pass behind or duck under, duck behind, 3 different names for it, and I'm going to push, duck under, and I'm going to go behind and grab around the waist. This position, one more time, from the tie-up. We have the collar and elbow tie-up, duck under, pass behind, okay? Let's have, if we could, someone else demonstrate this, and I'll move you into the next series of moves. Okay, we got the tie-up, the pass behind. Okay, now, from the pass behind position, we're going to go into what's called the switch, okay? On a switch, the first thing he's going to do as the person passes behind is he's going to control the hands. You see him controlling the hands here. He's going to lower his hips, and he's going to hip out. Now from here, he's going to do what's called a switch. Switch is always done to the left-hand side. He's going to reach the left arm back into the inside of the knee, palm up, catch the inside of the knee, and pull himself around the opponent. Back into the same position, okay? Now, once you're in the position where your opponent's arms are around you, you're going to automatically go to control the hands and hip out once again, which is what he's doing right now. Okay, now from here, we're going to have him do the same move of switch or reversal to the left. Always done to the left. Go ahead, please. Okay, great. Now, from here, we're going to basically go into an armbar variation. What we want Prototype here to do is he's going to hip out and break the hands. He's going to grab the left wrist, and he's going to spin under into an armbar. Okay, that's actually a hammer lock, but we're going to spin out to an armbar.
Yep.
Okay, good. Now on the armbar here, he's got the arm straight. This move is always done straight across. You don't want to be behind like this. You don't want to be too far forward. You want to be parallel from your opponent. You're controlling the wrist with your thumbs, holding the hands, bending the wrist up. You're not putting pressure here. This is a legitimate move where if you're applying pressure, it's going to cause pain to your opponent. In order to put the appearance of pressure here, you're going to use body language by lowering your body and then pumping your legs and actually bringing your shoulder up, which is what you're seeing him do right here. Your opponent can settle down to a knee and come back up. Come back up, please. Now, your opponent here is going to reach across, grab the wrist, actually go under, and he's going to spin out into an armbar of his own. Okay? Now, you see what he does. He's always spinning under. He's essentially stepping with the right leg and coming under. You're spinning left, or you're spinning clockwise rather than counterclockwise. Okay? Now, from here, we're going to have Prototype come over, grab the left wrist on the top. He's going to take this elbow, and he's going to put this elbow on top of this elbow. He's going to duck under and go into a hammer lock. Right into a hammer lock. Okay, the hammer lock position here. From the hammer lock position, he's got his left hand controlling his left hand, Frankie's left hand. Now from here, Frankie's going to counter by ducking under and going into his own hammer lock. That's done as he just demonstrated. Could you go back and demonstrate that again, please? That is done basically from, as he's holding your wrist, you extend it out, duck under, go behind him, and hold the wrist, as you can see right here, okay? Okay, we're going to show the same hold-to-hold series we just did. I want to do it in live speed, and I'll go ahead and call the moves as we go. So we're going to start off with the tie-up and move from there. Go ahead, gentlemen. We got the tie-up here. We got the pass behind. We got switch left. Switch left. We're breaking under, spinning into an armbar. And from there, we're spinning out into another armbar variation. From there, we're spinning into a hammer lock. And from there, we're reversing the hammer lock into another hammer lock. Okay, we're going to go into headlocks and headlock takedowns in particular right now. What we want to demonstrate is the technique used on the headlock takedown and how you basically hold the bodies together as you're doing the headlock takedown. I'm going to work with Frankie here. We've got the tie-up, snatch and headlock. And then as I prepare to take him down, I'm going to step through, and you can see where his arms are. Basically, he wraps his arms around me, and that's what's going to hold our bodies together as we proceed to, as I proceed to take him over into the headlock takedown. We're going to have Mikey and Frankie demonstrate for you. Okay, you can see he's basically held the package together by wrapping his arms around him, and it's not necessarily the head. If you're just holding the head, you got about a 50-50 chance of separating unless you're cranking on the head pretty tight. Okay, we showed you how to take the headlock. Now we're going to show you some escapes from the headlock. The concept behind hold-to-hold is basically to perform an offensive move and then perform a counter to the offensive move and go into the next move. That's what we're going to demonstrate here right now. We're going to go ahead and, guys, tie up and do some variations, and I'll describe it as we go. We've got the headlock. Now, from the headlock, we're going to show an escape. That's a top wrist lock from a headlock. Okay. We are from a headlock again. We've got a hammer lock. Basically what he's done there, he's pushed, held onto the arm, pushed out of the headlock, and pulled into the hammer lock. You see he's applying pressure to the knee, pulled himself out into a hammer lock. These are all just little variations. You can probably come up with a million ways to get out of a headlock. And there's really no rules to these. It's whatever looks good. That's the beauty of pro wrestling.
If awesome physical conditioning and presence is guaranteed success in sports entertainment, then the prototype's future must be without limits. We sat down with the prototype and asked him about the importance of a wrestling school, breaking into the business, and his future with the World Wrestling Federation.
You know, you can't ride a bike without learning how to ride a bike. You can't wrestle without learning how to wrestle. It's just as far as wrestling and moves and psychology and whatnot, they focus on that as opposed to conditioning. Like a lot of places will condition you for the first X amount of weeks before they even have you do a hammer lock. You know, pretty much from day one, UPW says, you know, if you need conditioning, we'll tell you that. Do that on your own time. When you step in the ring, this is our time. You learn how to wrestle. So that's a plus. One of my hopes, same hope as everybody else, you know, to go out Madison Square Garden in front of a full house with them either cheering the hell out of you or booing you right back off the stage. You know, whatever comes of it. School is awesome. You get to learn how to wrestle in a fairly short period of time. I can't compare it to anywhere else because I haven't been anywhere else. But as far as my experience goes, it's awesome.
Okay, we'd like to demonstrate for you now some chain wrestling, basically where two wrestlers are showing off their technical skills. They are starting off in a face-off confrontation, and they're going to go through some hold-to-hold and end up in a face-off confrontation. We'll have them do it half speed to start out here. Basically, they're starting in the collar and elbow tie-up, going into a headlock. From the headlock, he's ducking out into a hammer lock. From the hammer lock, he's dropping into a drop toe hold and switching over into a headlock. From the headlock, he's sitting through, pulling his head into a head scissor, nipping up, turning, and facing off. Okay? We've covered the basic hold-to-hold now. We're going to show you some advanced technique. We've got a couple of guys that are advanced at hold-to-hold or chain wrestling, and we're going to show you some advanced combinations here.
We are really proud to have Chris Daniels as a part of the Ultimate University team. Chris is one of our trainers and is considered by many to be the #1 independent pro wrestler in the world. Chris Daniels is an excellent example of what thousands of guys are trying to achieve: greatness.
Let me say this to all of you watching this tape. I don't ever want you to think that you know everything there is to know about wrestling. You can never, ever stop learning about this business. I've been in this business 7 years. I know guys that have been in it longer than I have, and they continue to learn. That's what makes you great. You're always soaking up information. You're always learning new ways to look at things, new ideas, new concepts in professional wrestling. And that is how you become great, is because you always open yourself up to these new ideas and these new things, and you never stop learning. You never quit learning. You never know it all.
All right, we're going to show you another hold-to-hold variation here. Basically, we're going to start with a tie-up, pass behind, grab around the waist into a full Nelson. From the full Nelson, you're going to break it by, let's demonstrate that. We're going to actually, you break a full Nelson by lifting your arms up straight and go ahead and break it, stomping. And then you're going to drop to the left knee and roll through. Yeah, rather than rolling completely to your side, you want to try to roll across your shoulder into a key lock position. From a key lock position, he's going to kick over. Basically, you want to use your left leg, put your right arm tight, and kick back over into a backward somersault here. Go ahead. And pull through into a hammer lock, okay, back into a control position. So we're going to show that in full speed now. Okay, we're going to talk about striking right now. Striking is basically punching, kicking, forearms, elbows, anything where you're using part of your body to strike your opponent. We're going to start out with kicks, and the basic kick used is basically a stomp kick to the midsection, solar plex region. It can also be used to the thigh, and I'll demonstrate one for you right now. Okay, now, to break that down, basically, that was a little stiff, made some contact on that one. Basically, I'm lifting my knee up, I'm extending my foot, and basically touching with the ball of the foot, not with the point. And at the same time, I'm lifting my left heel, getting a little bit of a stomp, and the body language and the intensity is what really makes this kick look particularly ferocious. So one more time.
There are a lot of great things we can say about the future Frankie Kazarian. Frankie has the drive and the determination to become one respected and talented ring technician. Let's listen to how Frankie became a pro wrestler and his new spot with UPW.
Well, ever since I was 7 years old, it was the first time I ever saw wrestling. It was in my blood from that day. And all through school, junior high, high school, it's just all I ever wanted to do. I couldn't think of anything else I loved as much as wrestling. So as soon as I was able to, I went to school and I got trained. And this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, no matter what. It's a lot more, it's more of like a family orientation here. Everyone works really hard, works together, everyone really pushes each other. Everything's just done real regimented and it's real organized.
Oh! Okay, now as I sell here, keep my body tight. I'm bending back, but I'm keeping everything open. The last thing, as I said, I want to do is bend down so I get the knee right in the forehead when it happens. And I want to leave my body open for the next move. So, for example, I'm going to kick him and then I'll go right into a punch. And because he sells properly for me and leaves himself open, I can go right into a punch and set him up. So I'll show that right now. The kick, oh! Oh! Into a punch. Start off with the kick, he sells, sets up for whatever I want right there. If I want to hit a forearm, if I want to hit a punch, if I want chops, yeah, anything that I want. If I want to hit a straight chop, if I want to hit a back chop, anything I want to hit from there. The trick to any of this stuff, in my opinion, is the intensity with which you're performing the movements. And with time, movements will get tighter, but the intensity is what matters, and working fairly tight. Not stiff, but tight. So if we could, I'd like to have basically odd man out, demonstrate kicks and selling at the same time. Good. Good. Good.
Looney started as a manager in UPW with no wrestling experience. Today, she is one of Ultimate University's prize students, already appearing on WWF television. Looney lets us in on her views on the business.
But I love it. I've learned so much. I mean, it's unbelievable how much you learn when you're trained properly. Training properly, that's a big key. But yeah, learned a lot. Is the WWF in my future? Definitely, for sure. I'm going straight to the top. That's the only way I see myself going. You gotta set yourself high standards, and that's where I see myself going. That or any one of the big three, WCW, ECW, but WWF, I would be very happy if I were to go with them.
Okay, we're going to cover some striking now, primarily punching. We're going to start out with a jab punch. Jab punches can be done either the stomach, the face region. Basically, it's using same foot. I'm right hand, so I'm going to use right foot forward, right hand forward. And as he feeds in here, I'm jabbing the stomach or jabbing the face in the same way. And another punch is the uppercut punch, primarily done to the stomach. Basically, I like to pull the head into this, pull your partner or opponent into this, and then same thing, throwing up. It's here. And then variations of the face punches. I do a little different style of punch, and as I come across, I smack my arm for effect. A lot of different ways to do this. You can also throw them to the head. When you're throwing punches to the head, one of the best ways for safety is to keep this at a distance and throw this direct, so that you're using this as a rule. And unless you're extending past, you shouldn't be touching his head. So it's just, okay. And then just an overhand punch. Just throw you want to throw this one basically to the bottom of the jaw, almost to the neck region. And you want to keep your fist fairly solid. You want to avoid having an open fist on this. And that's, one more time. And the noise you're getting on that is coming from stomping, a little bit of the left heel as well as the pop to the arm. So you can gauge how much you want based on the popping, the foot noise. You want to avoid big foot stomps, obviously, for keeping some reality in this. And those are some of the basic strikes. Okay, what we want to show now is basically the same punches we just used, stomach punches, head punches, all the variations. I don't want to have different people demonstrate, because the thing about punching and striking in general is, depending on your character and your individual technique, they're all going to look different. There's not really a right or a wrong way. The bottom line is, as long as it looks good and you're not hurting the person. So we'll just demonstrate some different variations. Just hit jab. Yeah, face jab. Good. Yeah. You're normally going to jab with the same foot as you know.
Oh, you want to?
Yeah. Good. There you go. Excellent. Okay.
Known as the Samoan suplex machine, Samoa Joe brings years of judo training and raw gridiron attitude to UPW. Joe really shines when the bell rings, and his opponents will find absolutely no pleasure from his overwhelming Polynesian power.
I didn't really know I wanted to do this. I'd done tournament judo for several years before I did this. I was actually training in a pro wrestling shoot dojo. and hooked into the sport. A buddy of mine recommended it to me, stayed after class, and I was hooked from then on. I've been a wrestling fan, you know, all my life. I've been watching wrestling when I grew up. Never really dreamed of doing it. And once you get in the ring, once you're out there in front of a crowd, you know, the bug bites you, and it becomes part of your blood. It's entertaining people. It's, you know, it's maximizing your abilities to, you know, entertain millions of people, thousands, hundreds, whatever, 20 people, just to get them to cheer. And, you know, it's a good feeling. You know, I learned my basics at another school. I was taught very well, and I can't, you know, say anything bad about my training. When I came to Ultimate University, we have the same type of curriculum and training coming up that I did receive. Plus, we have finishing work to polish you off to go to the big time, you know, promo classes, learning in-ring work, you know, how to compose yourself, acting professional. You know, you're not just a wrestler in the ring, you're a wrestler outside of the ring. And Ultimate University really teaches you how to do that.
We're talking about striking, and we want to demonstrate some punches. Now, we've got about 10 different people in the room here. When you have 10 trained professional wrestlers, you're going to have 10 different style of punches. That's just the way it is in the business. Everyone's going to have their own little method or technique they like to use. So we're going to demonstrate, each of us, some overhand punches to the head or face region, and we'll just touch on the technique used in each one. I'll start it out. I have a little different one than some of the others. One more time. Go ahead. First time. Now, the concept is similar on everyone in that we're all throwing a punch to the chin, neck region. There's a lot of different variations on these. The main idea, there's a couple of variations that you can throw, one of which is a kind of almost an uppercut or a hook type punch, and then there's also an overhand, downward punch. That's really going to depend on your individual style and preference. Another technique in striking is the forearm to the back. This is done whether your opponent's already bent over or you need to bend him over by pulling him into place. You want to take the arm up high over your head, showing everyone, and then coming down with the meat of your forearm across the upper region of the back. You want to avoid the neck, obviously, here. It looks like this. Back up. This is done stiff, done as hard as possible. Make sure you're not hitting them with the elbow or the fist. Straight forearm, and just lay this one in.
As a native of St. Petersburg, Russia, Stas was a national judo and martial arts champion and has become one of the most feared men in the squared circle. Now let's get to know what's in the mind of this soft-spoken Ultimate University graduate.
I love this place because I came from Russia 2 years ago, and already 1 year I trained in Ultimate Pro University, and this place for me it's like home, because I find many friends here and everybody friendly to me, and I love sport, so I feel like it's my second home. That's why I try to be here more time, and this place really like a family, because everybody help to each other, everybody try to be you know, really nice to each other. That's why it feels always easy when you train.
Okay, we've got Chris Daniels here. We're going to show you some various methods of striking. We're going to show you overarm, forearm to the chest, and a couple of different variations of the chop. Basically, he's pushing the head back to clear his chest. And then as he's coming in, he's throwing his arm in a circle with the base of his forearm hitting the chest. There you go. Now, if we could show the overhand chop, the technique's real similar to the overhand chop there, but instead of throwing the forearm, you're actually cupping the hand and throwing the chop. And you're laying these in full speed as hard as you can, getting a nice slap. Now, the reverse knife edge chop is same effect with the hand, and you're just laying these in. Basically, your reverse knife edge, you're coming back and throwing it from left field as hard as you can. Let's do one more. That's a little too easy on him. In demonstrating various striking techniques, one of the forms we want to show you is the forearm shiver. Basically, you're controlling the head by pulling your opponent, pull his head down, and then you're using the meaty part of your forearm, not the point of your elbow and not the fist, of course, in between, and you're striking the side of the head here. We'll have it demonstrated for you. Excellent. Can we go one more time on that, please? Nice. Okay, great. Now, when you have your opponent in the corner, we're gonna show a couple of variations here of elbows into your opponent, various striking techniques that you're going to use in the corner. Go ahead, if you would demonstrate, please. Good. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to show you some other techniques here. Basically, this is the same concept as the elbow or the forearm. We're going to go ahead and use knees. There's a cross variation this way, and there's a forward variation this way. You can demonstrate. Good. Now, when you're working in the corner, one of the things we want to stress is that you're not working with your back flat against the turnbuckles. It gives you nowhere to go. So when you are hit, you have nowhere to go. So you want to be slightly out. So when you are hit, you have a place to fall backwards and avoid being basically smashed into the corner. Okay, we're going to show you a couple more striking techniques here. These are more advanced striking techniques, but I at least want to show them so you have a concept. We're going to start out here with a kick to put the guy in position. We're going to give him a kick, and then we're going to go into a forearm shrug, across the face, forearm shot across the face, into a knife edge, into the neck. We'll have Joe demonstrate those three. Okay, one more time on that. Just get some noise. It's cool. No, that's cool. Good. Okay, we're going to show a couple different striking techniques here. We're going to start out with the shoulder tackle. And this is normally done in a corner. When your opponent's in the corner, basically grabbing the middle rope here, you're feeding back, and then you're rearing forward. And as your opponent's basically feeding back out of the corner here, you're laying your shoulder into his midsection. And we'll go through it right here. We'll actually go ahead and demonstrate for us if we could, please. Good. Great. Our next striking technique is the headbutt. And the method used on this is you're basically going to grab the hair of your opponent if they've got hair, if not, grab the head. I'm going to stand back here. I'm going to rear my head back for effect, and I'm coming in, and I'm basically not wanting to hit my own hands, but I'm coming in and making contact, just a slight amount of contact as you're coming in. Go ahead, please. Demonstration.
Turning pro at the age of 15, Mikey Henderson has overcome much adversity to become one of the best small guys currently working in the indie scene. Henderson has great physical presence, excellent mic skills, and an awesome attitude. All of these are essential to making it into the big time, and that's where the Miracle's mind is focused.
I started watching wrestling when I was 3 years old. You know, seeing Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, you know, I mean, these characters are larger than life. That's what got me into it, you know, and I said when I was like 3, I told my dad, I said, you know, I'm going to be a wrestler. And, you know, my dad kind of, oh, yeah, whatever, okay, a wrestler, you know, but it stuck with me. You know, I started training when I was 13. I went professional when I was 15. And, you know, it's like, I'm never going to stop doing it. You know, it becomes more like a drug. You know, I mean, something you need it. You want to stop, but you can't ever stop. You know, you have to go out there. You have to have the fans. You have to have that entertainment thing going on all the time. The difference is, I mean, we train a little harder. I mean, most of the schools you go into, you get in there and you start training just for a little bit, and everybody's kind of lazy. Here, you know, you got a bunch of good guys who pump you up, keep you ready all the time, always keep you on your toes and going. So that's what the difference is. I mean, you just got a bunch of guys who are basically professionals about everything. So I don't think they're going to give me that spot. I know they're going to give me that spot in the WWF or the WCW. You know, I've been wrestling since I was 15. I just turned 20 a couple months ago. I believe deep down inside it's just a matter of time before I'm with one of the major companies.
Another striking technique is the elbow to the back, elbow smash, whatever you want to call it. Same situation here where your opponent's either bending over as he's coming up or you're pulling him in a position. And same deal, you're coming from high up and laying it down, avoiding contact directly with the point of the elbow so you don't paralyze the guy. We're going to have it demonstrated here by Chris. Excellent. Now that was more to the neck region. You can also lay this in to the back, a little more to the back if you want to show that once, Chris. There you go. Once again, you're laying these in, having no mercy. The only mercy you're having on your opponent in this is that you're not using the point of your elbow so that you're not doing any permanent damage. Now, another variation on this elbow is off of an arm wringer. Basically, as you twist under here in an arm wringer, bend the guy in a position here, I'm going to throw an elbow here to the back of his head. Now, the trick on this one is my footing, okay? If I'm going to do a knee lift, which is a different move, I'm going to stand in front of the arm and throw a knee to the head. If I'm going to throw an elbow, I'm going to stand behind the arm. I'm going to come from back here, show the audience, show the world my elbow, and then he needs to have his head a little higher so I don't kill him. And I'm going to come inside here, to the back of his head with the intensity to the back of the head. Can we demonstrate that as well? Good. Okay, another element of striking is after you've knocked your opponent to the ground, keep him down. Basically stomping on him, punching him, strikes to your opponent as he's down, trying to get back up. And we'll demonstrate here on Stas. I'm going to use the forearm to knock him down like we just demonstrated, and then I'll just show you some stomps. Go from there. Okay, I kicked him once here to the back, once here to the head. Be real careful when you're kicking to the head. Obviously, you want to avoid any permanent damage. Okay, we want to show you an example of keeping the pressure or the heat on your opponent once you become the aggressor and you've started to take him down. We're going to demonstrate here, if we could, Chris Daniels and Frankie Kazarian. Excellent. Okay, you can see, rather than staying stationary on the ground, he's fighting back. He's trying to fight back to defend himself, and Chris is keeping the pressure on him with blows and strikes the entire time.
To make it in sports entertainment today, a person needs to find a personality that fits, and the sadist has found hers. Deep down, this former powerlifter and mother of three wants a career in the big leagues. To reach her goals, she refuses to overlook all the hard work required, and it may shock you to learn that it's the family atmosphere at Ultimate University that keeps her coming back for more.
Well, there's a lot of things to know. First is that it's a sport that should be respected because it's definitely hardcore. There's nothing soft about it, and anybody who wants to think it's fake, I challenge you, bring it, because there's nothing fake about all the bumps we take. It's really real, and it's a lot of hard work and dedication, so if you're not down, don't even waste your time or our time. I've gotten a family out of it. I've gotten a lot of knowledge of how much I should appreciate this sport because it's really hardcore. I get more hurt doing this than I've ever gotten doing kickboxing, but it's worth it. I've learned a lot about working with other people more than being down for myself, because before with the fighting circuit, you know, you got to take care of you, but in here, you got to take care of each other, pretty much.
Do it. Lay it in. That's just another day at Ultimate University. That was tape 2. We covered striking, we covered hold-to-hold, we covered basically the ingredients that you will be using in your matches. Now in tape 3, we're going to put those ingredients together and we're going to bake us up a match.